When it comes to Disney Star Wars, we have witnessed failure after failure, as Star Wars fans have just given up hope that this franchise can ever be turned around. And although we're currently witnessing an unmitigated disaster when it comes to The Acolyte, led by Leslie Headland, Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, don't let that distract you from the fact that there is another, potentially even bigger disaster than that down the road. And that, of course, is the Rey movie, led by activist director Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. If you remember, it only took Star Wars just a few hours into 2024 to have a massive controversy on their hands, when Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, for a New Year's interview on CNN, came in and said, you know what? It's about time we had a woman start to tell stories in the Star Wars universe, as if you haven't witnessed what's been happening for the past decade plus. And then, of course, some old clips and interviews that she did resurfaced where she talked about every movie she does, it's about marginalized people and making sure that she teaches men a lesson, that she likes making men feel uncomfortable. So you knew it's going to be a perfect fit at Lucasfilm. But there are some people who think, well, maybe this isn't going to happen. Disney Star Wars couldn't possibly go forward with this, could they? Well, according to her and according to everyone at Lucasfilm, it is still full speed ahead, and they are doubling down on Rey Skywalker. Yes, the phrase that was uttered, the name that was uttered when she decided to name herself Skywalker in the theater, and everyone let out a collective groan. They are doubling down on this character, they're doubling down on that name, and they are moving forward without listening to the fans. She's specifically in this interview, and we're going to go over a couple things that she said as well, but specifically in this interview, she says, you know what? I'm not interested in listening to those fans. I'm interested in making the movie that I want to make. That's been a great approach, hasn't it? A great approach for Disney Star Wars so far, and it looks like they're continuing right down that path. Star Wars director on why she's drowning out fandom opinions until after the film is done. Quote, the greatest thing about Star Wars is that everyone has a personal connection to it. Everyone's passionate about it, and throughout the fandom, people have clear ideas about who should direct or what the story should be about. And throughout the fandom, people have clear ideas on who should direct or what the story should be about. I'm just drowning out those voices until I'm done. As a storyteller, I'm focusing on drawing new moviegoers into the cinema and bringing a sense of nostalgia that will appeal to older fans of the series. So, you know, all you fans out there that are very passionate, very dedicated, that have been right about the path of Disney Star Wars, I'm not fucking interested. I'm drowning those out until after I tell the story that I want to tell. Yeah, bringing new people to the theaters, that sure has worked out well for Disney Star Wars, hasn't it? The younger generation is less interested in Star Wars than almost any other property out there. It's been an abject failure, despite that being their effort to say fuck you to the old fans. Maybe we'll dangle some keys in front of you, some nostalgia berries, but this is made for the younger generation. Hasn't worked out for them, has it? But here she is talking about the people she's talking to, including a George Lucas name drop in here. But I think you can get a sense for who really is very influential at Lucasfilm when it comes to this answer. And by the way, she said the thing that's most important to her in this is the idea that Rey is a female Jedi, and she can't wait for her experiences as a woman to shine through in telling her story. Get ready for cringe.
And at the heart of it, for me, is Rey Skywalker, is Daisy Ridley and her story, and taking her on an adventure to a Jedi.
Even having her say Rey Skywalker, it brings you right back to the first moment you saw that. And again, how if you were in a theater, everyone probably just, oh my God, rolled their eyes and groaned when she gave herself that name.
Academy, and sort of creating a world that is a natural dovetail to the story that we've seen her go through the last 3 episodes. I've had conversations with J.J. Abrams. I've had conversations with George Lucas, and then of course Dave Filoni, who's a big part of the Star Wars universe now. We speak very often, and Kathy Kennedy and Carrie Beck and Simon Emanuel. I mean, I think the team is really taking time to make sure that we do justice to telling the story of Daisy. And
making sure we take the time to do justice to this story. The story doesn't need to continue. But I love the fact that she did reiterate just how often she's talking to Dave Filoni about this, the person that people feel like they always want to give excuse after excuse. Even when he's involved with projects that are dog shit, they make excuses for him. He is a piece of shit. He's a fucking hack. He fooled a lot of people who then campaigned for him to get in this position. And ever since he has, things have just continued to go further downhill. But that's an aside that I'll always take to slam on Dave Filoni because I've been calling this bitch out for 15 fucking years. But the idea that there's going to be anybody that wants to see one Rey Skywalker in general and to her rebuilding the Jedi Academy, her accomplishing the things that Luke Skywalker couldn't manage to do because they made Luke Skywalker into just the biggest bitch in the galaxy. They're giving that story arc to Rey Skywalker. And although a lot of people, just like a lot of people tried to lie and gaslight, maybe just for the views, maybe just so they can make it up like that for the views, I don't know. A lot of people tried to lie and gaslight and say the Acolyte was just a sizzle reel, that it never got filmed, that it was just fake, that it was really secretly canceled. A lot of people have been pushing that same narrative about this movie. I don't think that's the case. Now, this is Lucasfilm. We've seen them cancel a lot of projects, even ones that they'd announced and promoted. However, I feel like they're very dedicated to this because of the person that they hired, because Daisy Ridley got up there on stage at Celebration, because of all of these things. If you think that this isn't a priority for Lucasfilm to figure out a way to make this movie work, you are lying to yourself. And now here you have it, sharing a little bit more and how they are disregarding the opinion of fans. That's my favorite part about this. I'm drowning out fandom opinions. You know the people who know more than I do? You know the people who care more than I do? I'm not going to listen to them. I'm going to tell the story I want to tell and turn Star Wars into something I want. Hasn't worked out very well for Lucasfilm, has it? Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.